All right, good afternoon. This is Japanese Irish Highlander putting up a Black Powder war game, which I haven't done for quite some time. It's one of my days off. I actually have some time to do a game. I have a good excuse to be out here because it's raining and I can't do any more yard work. Uh-huh. So, anyway, um, this is a Great Northern War game. Between a Russian force that is building a field fortification, mainly a wooden fort with four towers, with outworks, being they're basically trying to invade some Swedish held territory. The Swedes are going to try to disrupt their building plans and or destroy the fort itself. For this game, it's sort of a hodgepodge of figures that I'm using. I'm actually using my 30 Years' War, the Swedes, with some pikes and matchlocks as like a reservist or second line unit. I also have some of my other 18th century esque troops, which are colored in the correct colors, but I actually use them for other periods. So I have a main Swedish infantry battalion supported by some other units that are backed up, mostly militia and other types as such. The Swedes are actually coming in with one gun. The Russians, on the other hand, the unit holding the fort are also, you could classify as almost second line troops because these are Streleski. These are the fellows that Peter the Great actually wanted to change their ability to rule Russia. But I have them in here just because they would have been part of his force. Also down here, it's actually quite amazing that I have a force of militia. Now, when I used to have the Great Northern War, Peter the Great's army book, it listed militia like this, which is, of all things, they were listed as Ukrainian in Russian service, which is rather interesting considering the still situation going on in 2024 with the unpleasantness over in that part of the world. So we're going to recreate a basic battle. Now, as you can tell from the background, I'm trying not to show too much of my table because it's actually quite a mess. It's the first time I've been out here to actually do a game in quite some time. So I've actually changed around my gaming area in my garage. There's a lot of storage in here right now for my other hobbies as well as reenacting, but also my main painting and assembly table I've actually taken into my home, into a study that I have. And I'm going to be using it for there because during the wintertime, here in Nova Scotia, it can get down to minus 20 and in extremes minus 40. And that really doesn't do well with paint. So I don't want my paints to freeze, so I do that. So basically, once the warmer weather comes, I'm out here gaming. So I'm going to see how well this force progresses. Some of the figures that I have on the table, I may actually look into repainting. Now, this group here were from a Swedish infantry set, which I bought while I was still living and teaching in Japan. And I painted them up as Les Compagnies Franches de la Marine for the French period. However, I do have Les Compagnies Franches in metal of the same time period. So I'm thinking I may actually take these fellows and repaint them. However, we'll see if I'm actually going to go through that, or I may try to look if there were uniforms of the same period with other groups. But 18th century clothing really didn't change that much until about the midway part. So from about 1750, late 1750s into 1760s is when uniforms really did start to change. So the main idea is I'm just going to see how well these fellows do on my battlefield, and I'm posting pictures on my blog for my Irish Highlander blog, because yeah, I can't remember the last time I did a black powder game. So here we go.